Have you ever met someone whose presence, while seemingly calm, carried an almost imperceptible hum of difference? Someone who wasn't overtly social, yet exuded a quiet self-sufficiency? They aren't cold, but their engagement feels selective, almost surgical. They don't appear antisocial, but their solitude seems less a consequence and more a strategic choice. What you're observing isn't an air of superiority or an aloof demeanor. It's a profound manifestation of a distinct psychological architecture. This phenomenon, often misunderstood, was meticulously unpacked by Carl Jung, who recognized that advanced intelligence, particularly the kind that encompasses a deep understanding of human emotions and the intricate workings of the psyche, inherently fosters a gravitating pull towards a particular form of detachment. This isn't a sort of detachment born from past hurts, fear, or unresolved trauma. Instead, it arises as a deliberate, conscious decision, a sophisticated protective mechanism designed to preserve the intricate integrity and boundless capacity of a truly discerning mind. You see, for these individuals, the relationship with solitude diverges starkly from the conventional human experience, where most people instinctively perceive an empty space, a void to be filled. These minds discern a fertile ground for clarity, an uninterrupted canvas for profound thought. While many instinctively recoil from the specter of abandonment, fearing the echoes of emptiness, highly intelligent people often discover an exhilarating sense of freedom within their chosen isolation. This isn't because their emotional landscape is barren, or their capacity for connection diminished. Quite the contrary. It stems from a fundamental insight they've intuitively grasped, an understanding that often eludes the vast majority that their most profound insights, their most substantial personal growth and the purest embodiment of their authentic self flourish not within the incessant clamor and chaotic currents of constant social interaction, but within the meticulously crafted, deliberate expanse of human solitude. It is in quiet sanctuaries of the self that their minds can truly unfurl, unburdened by the relentless need to control and defend. Being turned this from the cosmic to passive communication, a lifelong odyssey towards the divine. Most integrated versions of themselves, entirely distinct from the swirling society, and the relentless emotional demands that arise from interpersonal dynamics. But what renders this journey particularly salient and intensely relevant are highly intelligent The more their intellect sharpens, the more profound their cognitive abilities become, the more vividly they perceive the subtle, often unseen undertones that define a vast portion of human life. They begin to discern that much of what is commonly perceived as genuine connection is, in fact, a complex interplay of performance, deeply ingrained unconscious projections, and intricate dances between emotional rather than a pure, unadulterated meeting of authentic selves. This piercing realization presenting them with an inescapable fork in the road. On one path lies the continuous engaging in social and path of interaction with increasing power, devoid of true self, and profoundly exhausting. The alternative path beckons them to back, to embrace a deliberate detachment, and to meticulously cultivate the essential mental and emotional states required for their authentic growth. Profound internal flourishing, the vast majority of people, driven by deep self-fear, isolation, rejection, or simple opposition, instinctively choose the former, clinging to the familiar comfort of superficial engagement. However, the truly intelligent, guided by an inner compass of deeper wisdom and self-revelation, invariably gravitate toward the former. Their choice is not a rejection of humanity, but a profound affirmation of their own needs, a testament to their innate drive for genuine understanding and authenticity, even if it means parting with the less conventional, often solitary. This detachment, therefore, is a form of psychological self-governance, It's the intelligent mind's way of setting its own goals, operating in its own terms, and protecting its precious cognitive resources from the incessant demands of an often uncomprehending world. They are the quiet architects of their universe, meticulously constructing environments where their complex thought processes can thrive, unhindered by external factors. This inner world becomes their primary abode, a source of endless fascination and profound fulfillment, rendering need for external validation or stimulation largely redundant. Their peace is self-generated, their clarity is self-sustaining. This nuanced understanding of their own internal mechanics allows them to navigate the world with a unique blend of awareness and mental participation, always prioritizing the integrity of their conscious mind over the fleeting allure of widespread social acceptance. This is why their presence can sometimes be unsettling. They are playing a different game, operating from a different rule book, one meticulously crafted by introspection and an unyielding commitment to truth. While others might busily engage in the relentless pursuit of popularity or surface-level belonging, these individuals are engaged in a far more profound quest, the arduous but deeply rewarding excavation of their own intrinsic nature, their unique essence, and their singular purpose. Their gaze is often turned inward, their energy channeled towards understanding the complexities of their own consciousness and the deeper patterns of existence. This internal focus naturally creates a barrier, a subtle but palpable distance between them and those who remain largely preoccupied with the external world. They are not intentionally exclusionary. They are simply deeply immersed in a different, more intricate reality, one that demands their full attention and reverence. They understand that the true richness of human experience isn't found in the quantity of interactions, but in the quality of insight gained, the depth of truth uncovered, and the profound wisdom cultivated from within. This distinction marks them as outliers, individuals whose priorities are fundamentally reordered, guided by an internal imperative rather than external societal pressures. Intelligence, especially the kind that delves into the nuanced realms of emotional and psychological awareness, arrives hand in hand with an unforeseen, often heavy, burden. You begin to perceive intricate patterns that remain invisible to the majority. You notice the subtle, often unconscious motivation simmering beneath the surface of people's words and actions, revealing the deeper currents driving their behavior. You become acutely aware of the fear-based impulses that frequently masquerade as expressions of affection or genuine concern. And crucially, you develop a profound understanding of the deep-seated psychological needs that often fuel, distort, and even dictate most social interactions. Jung identified this as the blossoming of what he termed psychological consciousness, the advanced capacity to observe not merely what individuals do, but to intuitively grasp the intricate why behind their actions, feeling back behavior to wield the hidden machinery within. This heightened, almost hyper-awareness paradoxically cultivates the true form of isolation. When you possess the ability to clearly discern the intricate gears and levers operating beneath the veneer of human conduct, you start to experience life as though you are effectively observing the meticulous instinct of life while everyone else around you is utterly convinced that they are living an authentic, unscripted reality. This isn't a sense of cynicism. It is, in its purest form, clarity. And while such clarity can be immensely liberating, untethering you from countless it carves out a mental and emotional distance, a silent chasm between your perception and the collective understanding of your own emotions. You exist in a state of heightened perception, a state of knowing that few others share, and this knowing fundamentally alters your sense of belonging and highly important. Individuals frequently find themselves navigating these conversations taxing choice to either engage at the superficial, unchallenging level or to articulate their deeper truths and interests, risking the immediate discomfort and subsequent withdrawal. Are unprepared or unwilling to confront such easier, more socially accommodating path often chosen is the former, to simplify, to dilute, to mass complexity. But this constant act of translation, of transforming intricate thoughts into easy digestible fragments, becomes an exhausting journey. The perpetual dumbing down of profound insights in very particular social arguments creates a profound a schism within the self. You begin to feel as though you are perpetually living a double life, your authentic, multifaceted self confined to your thinking, and your socially acceptable, simplified self performing externally. This poignant recognition leads to a crucial and often painful realization. Much of what is conventionally connected is, in reality, a sophisticated interplay. People aren't genuinely feeling you. They are perceiving what they need you to be, a reflection of their own unconscious desires or unresolved issues. They aren't truly loving your authentic essence. They are loving their idealized idea of you, a construct built from their own hopes and expectations. Once this fundamental truth penetrates your awareness, the compelling urge to meticulously maintain the surface connections, which are in essence one-sided emotional transactions, begins to irrevocably. The energy expenditure involved in upholding these performative relationships disproportionate to genuine understanding, being profoundly understood and intelligent mind by their very gravitation. Cultivating a select few profoundly deep connections rather than scattering their emotional energy across a multitude of shallow, unfulfilling ones. For them, quality over quantity in relationships ceases to be a mere preference and transforms into an absolute psychological necessity. The perceived detachment of the intelligent person is, therefore, frequently a sophisticated protective mechanism, a strategic defense against the immense emotional and cognitive drain that inevitably arises from maintaining relationships that conspicuously lack genuine understanding, profound intellectual reciprocity, or authentic emotional depth. It's a deliberate curation of their relational landscape, ensuring that the limited wellspring of their emotional energy is directed only where it can truly foster growth and genuine resonance, rather than being dissipated by the friction of misunderstanding or the emptiness of superficiality. There exists a particularly insidious form of exhaustion that is unique to the intelligent mind navigating a world that, ironically, often celebrates conformity and unquestioning adherence to popular narratives over genuine critical thinking and independent discernment. You observe with an almost agonizing clarity people making crucial decisions driven solely by fleeting emotion rather than rigorous logic. You witness them slavishly following ephemeral trends rather than upholding enduring principles. And you see them relentlessly pursuing external validation rather than unwavering commitment to inner truth. The resulting cognitive dissonance, the internal conflict between your acute perception of reality and the prevailing, often illogical, behaviors of the collective becomes overwhelmingly burdensome. It's a constant mental friction, a battle between what you see and what the world insists on showing you. Jung spoke extensively about the collective unconscious, the universal patterns and archetypes that deeply influence human behavior on a broad scale. However, he also recognized that certain individuals possess the unique capacity to develop sufficient consciousness to deliberately step outside these powerful patterns. This rare ability is often manifested in psychology. Termed cognitive isolation, the profound and often remote experience of processing and thinking about the world in fundamentally different ways. Vast majority of people. It's not just a matter of having different. It's a difference in the very framework of thought. Intelligent individuals frequently find themselves mentally translated into reams of intricate political discussions, and even the most casual conversations through a multitude of analytical lenses simultaneously. They instinctively discern the underlying psychological dynamics, pinpoint the logical fallacies, recognize the subtle historical patterns, and unearth the unconscious biases that shape their behavior. This multi-layered awareness, while incredibly potent, renders it exceedingly difficult to engage at the simplistic, straightforward level that most social interaction not only requires but often demands. The cumulative result is a unique form of internal exile. You may be physically present in a room full of people, but you are psychologically distant, operating on a different basis. You participate in conversation, but you don't fully engage at the same level of superficiality. You listen, but often find your mind automatically analyzing, dissecting, and synthesizing information rather than simply experiencing the moment without personal concentration. This isn't a conscious choice or an act of will. It is the natural, inevitable consequence of a mind It is an inherent part of their operating system, relentless in its pursuit of deeper understanding. This creates a peculiar, often profound form of loneliness. It is not the superficial loneliness of being physically alone, but the deeper, more pervasive loneliness of being profoundly mentally alone in the crowd. It's the isolation that arises from consistently perceiving connections and intricate patterns that others might ignore, from grasping complex implications that others may rarely, and from recognizing the inherent complexity that the majority view as expression of themselves. The intelligent person's subtle detachment often serves as an essential form of protection against the relentless onslaught of by consciously creating emotional and intellectual issues, they effectively preserve their mental clarity and avoid the friction of attempting to operate on faster, quicker, intellectual, and psychological frequencies. Them, with the necessary boundaries, the personal firewall against the If this deep dive into the intelligent mind resonating with your own experiences, or helping you understand some of the people in your life, take a moment, pause, and if you feel called to write in the comments, my clarity is necessary, or share a single word that describes what solitude truly means to your mind. Your insights fuel this conversation, and if you're finding value in this exploration of the human psyche, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support allows us to continue bringing these profound discussions to light, helping more people understand themselves and their world. Intelligence, particularly when coupled with a profound psychological awareness, bestows upon the individual an acute and often relentless understanding of emotional economics. This isn't merely an abstract concept. It's a visceral, lived recognition that your emotional energy, that precious and finite resource, must be invested with meticulous precision and unwavering wisdom. Unlike those who tend to indiscriminately scatter their emotional attention across an expansive tapestry of numerous, often superficial relationships, intelligent individuals develop an innate, almost instinctive, strategy concerning where they choose to direct their invaluable psychological resources. Carl Jung's insights into the psyche underscore that the very act of maintaining heightened consciousness demands a substantial expenditure of energy. The more deeply aware you become of the intricate layers of reality, the more energy it naturally requires to sustain that profound level of awareness. This intrinsic energetic cost creates a compelling impetus for natural selectivity in how, when, and where such individuals choose to engage with the world and its inhabitants. Every potential emotional investment, every new or existing relationship, is instinctively subjected to a sophisticated, albeit often unconscious, form of cost-benefit analysis. The internal monologue might quietly pose questions such as, will this particular relationship genuinely enhance my growth? Or will it inexorably drain my vital resources, leaving me depleted? Or will this interaction contribute meaningfully to my understanding of myself and the world? Or will it merely perpetuate familiar, perhaps even tiring patterns of shallow exchange. This discerning approach is far from coldness. It is, in fact, a highly refined manifestation of emotional intelligence, applied directly and strategically to the complex domain of relationships. These individuals possess a clear, unshakable recognition that their inherent capacity to create deep, profoundly meaningful connections with others, not by a lack of caring, but by the sheer intensity with which they absorb and process information. Given this intrinsic intensity, they instinctively prefer to cultivate a single, authentically profound connection rather than attempting to maintain superficial ones that offer little in return for the immense energy extended. The man got this meticulously selective approach to relationships, particularly with most important society, often appearing in an unsettling society in its broad scope, typically respects emotional availability from individuals, a regular and enthusiastic participation and predictable, easily digestible responses to conventional social cues. When intelligent individuals, driven not by an inability but by a conscious fail to meet these expectations, they are often hastily labeled as aloof, emotionally distant, arrogant, or even genuinely antisocial. However, the underlying truth is far more intricate than these sophisticated. Intelligent people have cultivated and honed the crucial capacity to acutely distinguish between it all. Unexamined emotional reactions and carefully considered, deliberate emotional responses. They have developed a profound ability to observe their own emotions as they arise, allowing feelings to flow through them without feeling instantly and compulsively controlled. This mastery permits them to engage deeper authentically from such engagement serves a higher purpose. Genuine understanding or collaborative creation gracefully, firmly. Withdraw when an interaction offers little more than emotional training. Dead end. This profound emotional sovereignty, while appearing as detachment to the uninitiated observer, is in actuality a sophisticated form of psychological mastery, a testament to their self-awareness and self-governance. This strategic detachment serves a multitude of vital functions for their complex reasoning. Firstly, it meticulously preserves their precious energy for intellectual research, creative endeavors, and personal explorations that hold true meaning and significance, ensuring that their finite resources are channeled for growth. Secondly, it visually maintains the pristine mental clarity that is absolutely essential for deep thinking, intricate problem solving, and nuanced understanding of the world, safeguarding their cognitive processes from external noise and emotional turbulence. And thirdly, it acts as a robust shield, protecting them against the debilitating emotional turbulence, psychological exhaustion that almost inevitably arises from becoming excessively investigated or entangled within the often unexamined psychological dramas and superficial concerns of others. Their peace is a carefully guarded treasure, their boundary is a necessary fortress. Perhaps the most profoundly misunderstood aspect of this intelligent detachment lies in its intrinsic and deeply cherished relationship with solitude. While the vast majority of people instinctively recoil from the prospect of being alone, often resorting to a relentless pursuit of constant social stimulation, digital distractions, and external noise to assiduously avoid confronting the deeper, often uncomfortable aspects of themselves. Intelligent individuals have embarked upon a different, more rewarding journey. They have systematically unearthed what Jung famously referred to as the treasure in the depths, the immeasurable richness, the profound clarity, and the boundless creative potential that emerges exclusively from genuine, self-imposed solitude. For the highly intelligent mind, solitude is far from an absence. It is, paradoxically, a powerful, palpable presence. It transcends merely being alone. It transforms into intentional, deeply reverent act of being with oneself in a manner that is utterly impossible when one is perpetually caught in the complex web of managing, interpreting, and accommodating intricate social dynamics. Within the hallowed silence of solitude, their minds can finally operate at their most natural, uninhibited frequency, liberated from the pervasive need to constantly adjust, meticulously translate, or painstakingly accommodate the myriad cognitive styles and emotional demands of others. This unburdened mental state is precisely where their most significant insights effortlessly emerge, where truly creative solutions miraculously develop, and where their philosophical understanding of existence deepens in almost sacred communion with truth. The intelligent person's deliberate cultivation of detachment is not a withdrawal from life in its totality. Rather, it represents an even deeper, more profound engagement with its essential, often unseen core. It creates the indispensable space for what really meticulously comes active imagination, the mind's extraordinary, unconstrained ability to engage directly and profoundly with ideas, possibilities, architecture, and insights that can only truly surface in the serene stillness, in the profound silence that exists between the kinetic energies. It is a dialogue with their own unconscious, a direct line to the deepest wisdom. The paradox inherent in this approach is profound and illuminating. By consciously detaching from the ceaseless silence, often superficially others, highly intelligent individuals invariably to themselves, to their most genuine thoughts and unfiltered feelings, to their truest desires and most foundational values. This powerful, robust, this unwavering self-reliance subsequently forms the unshakable foundation on which any external relationship nurtured and allowed to flourish with profound authenticity and mutual respect. This fundamental difference in orientation, where most people instinctively form relationships primarily to escape from confronting themselves, while intelligent people often deliberately withdraw from relationships protected from the arduous journey of discovering and integrating themselves creates an inherent, often inconnected barrier to mutual understanding between the highly intelligent and what might be considered an average social dynamic. What is superficially perceived as outright rejection, aloofness, or lack of social grace is, in truth, merely a distinctly different approach to human existence. It is an approach that rigorously prioritizes destiny and unyielding, commitment to quality over mere quantity, and an unyielding insistence on authenticity over comfortable foundation. This solitude advantage eloquently explains why many profoundly intelligent individuals are not only comfortable but genuinely thrive in extended periods of time. They can effortlessly navigate days the slightest deprivation from conventional social contact, precisely because their inner world is so rich and so. Furthermore, they frequently emerge from these intensely introspective periods with a heightened clarity, an explosion of renewed creativity, and a more profound level of psychological integration, ready to engage with the world. A place of renewed strength and profound self-understanding. Carl Jung himself recognized and embodied this very pattern. His most profound, groundbreaking insight in these modes of research. Theoretical constructs did not spontaneously emerge from contemporary social interaction. Instead, they were meticulously forged and painstakingly developed during sustained periods of deep introspection, rigorous self-analysis, and what he courageously referred to as a contemplation a process that inherently demanded solitude, quiet reflection, and an unyielding commitment to inner truth. The very detachment that is so often misconstrued as a withdrawal from life is for these minds, not a retreat, but a deliberate, focused, and ultimately deeper engagement with the fundamental essence of existence itself. It is a necessary shedding of external noise to hear the internal symphony. The detachment that characterizes highly intelligent individuals is far from a character flaw needing correction, or a psychological defense mechanism needing to be dismantled. Instead, it represents a natural, almost inevitable adaptation to the unique complexities and often overwhelming challenges of existing with a heightened level of awareness in a world that, for the most part, tends to operate at more rudimentary psychological and emotional levels. For those who embody this profound pattern, the inherent challenge isn't about laboriously learning to become more superficially social or to conform to conventional expectations of constant gregariousness. Rather, their true developmental task lies in learning how to deeply honor their natural rhythms, their innate need for space, for introspection, for deep dives into their internal landscapes, while simultaneously remaining genuinely open and discerning towards those few connections that truly enhance, rather than relentlessly drain, their precious psychological resources. It's a delicate balance, a continuous negotiation between their internal imperative and external social demands. For those attempting to comprehend someone who exhibits this nuanced pattern, the key to unlocking understanding lies in recognizing that their perceived detachment is rarely personal. It's not an affront or a sign of disinterest directed specifically at you. Instead, it is an integral, almost architectural component of their unique psychological makeup, a necessary condition for their mental equilibrium and profound well-being. Jung's enduring insights continue to offer a powerful lens through which to view this dynamic, the journey of individuation. That lifelong pursuit of psychological wholeness frequently necessitates sustained periods. From the pervasive pull of collective patterns, conventional wisdom, and societal expectations, for the intelligent mind, this isn't isolation in its definitional sense. It is profoundly integration. It represents the vital space, the unburdened quality, that is absolutely authentically before they can even begin to contemplate genuinely connecting with the emotional place of forms rather than needs. They build their inner fortress not to keep others out entirely, but to ensure that when they do open the gate, they use on their terms, from a position and with genuine intent. This deep-rooted need for space is often misconstrued, because society largely promotes an extroverted ideal, valuing constant interaction with external validation above internal processing and self-reflection. But the intelligent mind instinctively knows that true wisdom and profound understanding rarely arise from external means. Instead, they bloom in the fertile ground of introspection, where thoughts can be allowed to unfurl in the full complexity, uninterrupted by the demands of real-time social performance. Imagine a master argument, they require undisturbed focus, a quiet environment where every precise the intelligent mind operates similarly. Its most intricate and valuable creations, whether ideas, solutions, or insights, require a comparable level of internal stillness. This is why their retreat into themselves is not a retreat from life, but a deeper, more intentional engagement with its underlying truth. They are not escaping. They are immersing themselves in the very source code of reality, seeking patterns of connections that exist beyond the superficial level of everyday interaction. Consider also the phenomenon of cognitive growth. For a highly analytical mind and a piece of information, every social cue, every subtle nuance in a conversation is processed within the where others might absorb a brief anecdote. The intelligent mind might simultaneously be analyzing the speaker's unconscious motivation, cross-referencing information with vast amounts, identifying logical fallacies, potential future implications. This relentless, multi-layered process, while superpowers, consumes immense mental energy. detachment, in this context, becomes a necessary by selectively engaging, by choosing quality over quantity in interactions, these individuals protect their precious cognitive capacity from overload. It's akin to a high-performance engine. It can achieve incredible feats, but it also requires specific fuel and periods of rest to prevent them. Their perceived aloofness is often this infinite process of managing their powerful, yet sensitive mental machinery. Furthermore, this detachment fosters an environment of expectation and groundbreaking ideas. From consensus or groupthink, they often sprout in the quiet corners of the mind, unburdened by the need for immediate approval or social conformity. The intelligent individual, by consciously stepping back, creates a mental laboratory where unconventional thoughts can freely combine, where seemingly disparate concepts can merge, and where truly original insights can take root and flourish. This solitary mental play, often mistaken for isolation, is in fact a highly productive state, driving intellectual breakthroughs and fostering unique perspectives that enrich not only their own lives, but potentially contribute immense value to the wider world, albeit often indirectly. Their most significant contributions often arise from the very periods when they appear most removed. This nuanced understanding of intelligent detachment is paramount for fostering healthier, more authentic relationships. For those who possess this psychological architecture, understanding it within themselves is liberating. It allows them to embrace their natural inclinations without guilt, to set boundaries with clarity, and to pursue the deeper connections that truly nourish their souls. It empowers them to say no to superficial demands without feeling obligated to explain their profound internal workings. For those who seek to connect with such individuals, a shift in perspective is required. Instead of demanding constant social availability, offer the space and depth they genuinely value. Recognize their moments of quietude not as rejection, but as periods of intense internal activity and replenishment, understanding that their detachment is a functional rather than a dysfunctional aspect of their being is the first step towards building bridges of genuine understanding and mutual respect. It replaces judgment with empathy and frustration with insight. The profound ability of intelligent individuals to navigate the world with a certain degree of detachment isn't a deficiency to be remedied. It's a remarkably sophisticated adaptation, a natural consequence of living with heightened awareness. In a world that, quite frankly, often operates on far more rudimentary psychological principles. For those of you who find yourselves resonating with this perspective, who recognize these patterns within your own intervention, the real challenge isn't about diligently forcing yourself to become or to rigidly conform to conventional expectations of conscious variation. Instead, your deepest, most authentic developmental path lies in learning to profound powerful need for expansive mental space, for deep introspection, for those uninterrupted intricate internal landscapes. Simultaneously, it involves creating genuine open and effortless rather than relentlessly drained to precious and finite psychological resources. It's a delicate, ongoing dance, a continuous, conscious negotiation between the powerful internal imperatives and the pervasive, often resistant demands of the external social. For those of you who are striving to connect with someone who exhibits this nuance and authenticity. The pivotal key to unlocking that understanding lies in that a fundamental truth. Their perceived attachment is not an intentional Instead, it is an integral, almost architectural, component of their unique psychological nature, a necessary and vital condition for maintaining a profound mental stability and overall well-being. Carl Jung's enduring insight provides an incredibly powerful lens through which to comprehend the expansive journey of individuality. That likewise periods of deliberate separation from the pervasive pull of collective patterns, the comfort of conventional wisdom, and sometimes suffocating weight of societal expectations. For the intelligent mind, this isn't isolation in its technical, lonely sense. It is, in its deepest essence, integration. It represents the vital, unburdened space of profound quietude that is absolutely refreshing and authentically becoming itself before the connecting with others from a place of true wholeness rather than from a place of unfulfilled needs. They are, in effect, meticulously building their inner fortress, not with the intention of keeping others out entirely, but to ensure that remaining eventually open the gate is always on their own terms from a position of inherent strength and with a purity of genuine intent. This deep-seated, almost visceral need for expansive personal space is frequently and woefully misconstrued, largely because the prevailing societal narrative tends to aggressively promote ideal. This ideal disproportionately values constant external interaction and superficial validation of what the fruits of internal processes and profound self-acceptance. However, the intelligent mind instinctively grasps a fundamental truth, true wisdom, profound understanding, and genuinely transformative insights rarely, if ever, spontaneously arise from external noise, from the relentless chatter of the crowd or from the comforting echo chamber consensus. Instead, these profound realizations bloom most vigorously in the fertile, quiet ground of introspection within the undisturbed sanctuary of their own minds. Here, complex thoughts could be meticulously allowed to unfurl intricate complexity, entirely uninterrupted by the constant demands of real-time social performance or the pressure to immediately respond. This is precisely why their occasional retreat into themselves is not a withdrawal from life itself, but paradoxically, a deeper, far more intentional engagement with its underlying, often unseen truths. They aren't escaping the world. They are actively immersing themselves in the very source code of reality, meticulously seeking out intricate patterns and hidden connections that exist far beyond the immediate, often superficial level everyday, mundane interaction. Consider for a moment the immense concept of cognitive load. For a highly analytical and deeply perceptive mind, every single piece of incoming information, every subtle social cue, every nuanced inflection in a casual conversation is processed with an almost breathtaking intensity and a profound depth that can be, quite frankly, utterly exhausting. Where a less analytical mind might absorb a brief anecdote at face value, the intelligent mind might simultaneously be rigorously analyzing the speaker's unconscious motivations, meticulously cross-referencing the information with their vast and ever-expanding knowledge base, precisely identifying any subtle logical fallacies, and intuitively anticipating a myriad of potential future implications, all happening in a blink of an eye. This relentless, multi-layered cognitive processing, while undoubtedly a profound superpower, simultaneously consumes an immense amount of mental energy. Detachment, in this crucial context, then transforms into an absolutely necessary conservation strategy by selectively engaging, by rigorously choosing quality over mere quantity in their interaction. These individuals deliberately protect their precious cognitive capacity from debilitating injury. It's akin to managing a highly sensitive, high-performance engine. It possesses the capacity to achieve incredible feats but it also unequivocally demands specific, high-quality tools regularly. Precisely, time periods of rest to prevent catastrophic burnout. Their perceived aloofness, therefore, is often nothing more than this intricate thinking process of meticulous managing and intelligence. Yet inherently sensitive mental machinery is not, furthermore, this deliberate determinant active an environment that is uniquely ripe for unparalleled creativity and groundbreaking innovation. truly revolutionary ideas, those that shift paradigms and redefine understanding, almost never spontaneously emerge from the confluence of consensus or the suffocating embrace of groupthink. Instead, they almost invariably sprout and blossom out of the quiet, often overlooked corners of a mind that is entirely unburdened by the relentless need for immediate approval of the pervasive pressure of social performance. The intelligent individual, by consciously and deliberately stepping back from himself, meticulously creates an internal mental laboratory where unconventional thoughts can freely combine, where seemingly distant concepts can miraculously merge into novel insights, and where truly original perspectives can take deep root and flourish unhindered. This deeply solitary mental play, which is so often mistakenly interpreted as isolation or unfriendliness by the outsider, is in actual fact a highly productive and profoundly generative state. It is the very wellspring of this potential. Breakthroughs spontaneously emerge and where unique perspectives develop that not only immeasurably unite but also, albeit often indirectly and subtly, contribute immense transformative value to the wider world. Their most significant and lasting contributions often encountered in those periods when they appear most controlled, most removed from the social media, shot with nuance and compassionate understanding of intelligent practices, absolutely paradoxical, often genuinely healthy, profoundly more authentic, and ultimately more fulfilling human relationships, both for the intelligent individual and for those of you who recognize and embody this unique psychological architecture, understanding it deeply within yourselves is profoundly liberating. It empowers you to embrace your natural inclinations without this suffocating to set personal boundaries with unwavering clarity and conviction, and to diligently pursue only those deeper connections that genuinely nourish your soul and intellectual spirit. It actively empowers you to observe yourself, to know the superficial demands of entertainment, obligations without ever feeling compelled to working. For those who genuinely seek to connect with such individuals, a significant and fundamental shift in perspective is unequivocally required. Instead of demanding constant social availability or predictable emotional responses, strive instead to offer the generous space and the profound intellectual and emotional depth that they genuinely value. Recognize their moments of quietude and introspection not as a personal rejection, but as vital periods of intense internal activity, deep processing, and essential psychological replenishment. Understanding that their detachment is a functional rather than a dysfunctional aspect of their being is not merely the first step, but a colossal leap towards building sturdy bridges of genuine understanding, profound empathy, and mutual respect. It is a powerful act that replaces knee-jerk judgment with compassionate insight and transforms frustrating misunderstanding into profound appreciation. The detachment of intelligent people is not a deficit to be corrected or a psychological defense mechanism needing to be dismantled. Instead, it stands as a remarkably sophisticated adaptation to the unique complexities and often overwhelming challenges of existing with a heightened level of awareness in a world that, for the most part, operates on more fundamental psychological and emotional principles. For those of you who resonate with this description, who recognize these intricate patterns within your own inner landscape, the true developmental task isn't about laboriously forcing yourself to become more overtly social or rigidly conforming to conventional expectations of constant gregariousness. Rather, your deepest, most authentic journey lies in learning to profoundly honor your natural rhythms, that innate, powerful need for expansive mental space, for deep introspection, for uninterrupted dives into your own complex internal landscapes. Simultaneously, it involves remaining genuinely open and meticulously discerning towards those select few connections that truly enhance, rather than relentlessly drain your precious and finite psychological resources. It's a delicate, ongoing journey, a continuous, conscious negotiation between your powerful internal imperatives and the pervasive, often insistent, demands of the external person. For those striving to understand, who genuinely connect with, someone who exhibits this nuance often the pivotal key to unlocking that understanding lies in gratitude, a fundamental truth. Their perceived attachment to it's not an intentional slight or a kind of difference of selective. Instead, it is an integral, almost architectural component of their unique psychological nature, a necessary and vital condition for maintaining their profound mental equilibrium and overall well-being. Carl Jung's enduring insights provide an incredibly powerful lens through which to comprehend the expansive journey of individuals. That lifelong, often arduous, periods of deliberate separation from the pervasive pull of collective patterns, the comfort of conventional wisdom, and the sometimes suffocating weight of societal expectations. For the intelligent mind, this isn't isolation in its definition, lonely sense. It is, in its deepest essence, integration. It represents the vital, unburdened space, the profound quietude that is absolutely indispensable and authentically become themselves for the connecting with others from a place of true wholeness rather than from a place of unfulfilled need. They, in effect, meticulously building their inner fortress, not with the intention of keeping others out entirely, but to ensure that when they do eventually open their gates, it is always on their own side, from a position of awareness, strength, and with a purity of genuine intent. This deep-seated, almost visceral need for expansive personal space is frequently and woefully misconstrued, largely because the prevailing societal narrative tends to aggressively promote this ideal disproportionately values constant external interaction and superficial validation of the internal process and profound self-reflection. However, the intelligent mind instinctively grasps a fundamental truth, true wisdom, profound understanding, and genuinely transformative insights rarely, if ever, spontaneously rise from the relentless chatter of the crowd or from the accompanying echo of consensus. Instead, these profound realizations are more vigorously quiet ground of introspection within the undisturbed sanctuary of their own minds. Here, complex thoughts can be meticulously allowed to unfurl in their full intricacy. Complexity, entirely uninterrupted by the constant demand of real-time or the presence of this is precisely why their occasional retreat into themselves is not a withdrawal from life itself, but paradoxically, a deeper, far more intentional engagement with its underlying, often unseen, truths. They aren't escaping the world. They are actively immersing themselves in the very source code of reality, meticulously seeking out intricate patterns and hidden connections that exist far beyond the immediate, often superficial, level of everyday, mundane interaction. Consider for a moment the immense concept of cognitive load. For a highly analytical and deeply perceptive mind, every single piece of incoming information, every subtle social cue, every nuanced inflection in a casual conversation is processed with an almost breathtaking intensity and a profound depth that can be, quite frankly, utterly exhausting. Where a less analytical mind might absorb a brief anecdote at face value, the intelligent mind might simultaneously be rigorously analyzing the speaker's unconscious motivations, meticulously cross-referencing the information with their vast and ever-expanding knowledge base, precisely identifying any subtle logical fallacies, and intuitively anticipating a myriad of potential future implications, all happening in a blink of an eye. This relentless, multi-layered cognitive processing, while undoubtedly a profound superpower, simultaneously consumes an immense amount of mental energy. Detachment, in this crucial context, then transforms into an absolutely necessary energy. Conservation strategy. By selectively engaging, by rigorously choosing quality over mere quantity in their interactions. These individuals deliberately protect their precious cognitive capacity from debilitating overload. It's akin to managing a highly sensitive, high-performance engine. It possesses the capacity to achieve incredible feats and deliver unparalleled performance. But it also unequivocally demands specific, high-quality fuel and regular, precisely timed periods of rest to prevent catastrophic burnout. Their perceived aloofness, therefore, is often nothing more than this intricate internal process of meticulously managing their own powerful, yet inherently sensitive mental machinery. Furthermore, this deliberate detachment actively fosters an environment that is uniquely ripe for unparalleled creativity and groundbreaking innovation. Truly revolutionary ideas, those that shift paradigms and redefine understanding, almost never spontaneously emerge from the confines of principles, like the suffocating embrace of scrutiny. Instead, they almost invariably sprout and blossom. The quiet, often overlooked, corners of the mind that is society, unburdened by the relentless need for immediate external or the pervasive pressure of social conformity. The intelligent individual, by consciously and deliberately stepping back from within, meticulously creates an internal mental laboratory where unconventional thoughts can freely combine, where seemingly disparate concepts can miraculously merge into novel insights, and where truly original perspectives can pursue and flourish. This deeply solitary mental state, which is so often mistaken in the isolation or unfriendly, is in actual fact a highly productive and profound regenerative state. It is the very wellspring from which intellectuals break through spontaneously and where unique perspectives develop that not only measurably enrich their lives, but also, albeit often indirectly and subtly, contribute immense transformative value to the wider world. Their most significant and lasting contributions often have been Genesis and perspective. Those periods when they appear most strong, most removed from the social media, got this nuanced and compassionate understanding of profoundly more authentic, and ultimately more fulfilling human relationships, both for the intelligent individual and for those who seek to find. For those of you who recognize and embody this unique psychological architecture, understanding it deeply within yourselves is profoundly liberating. It empowers you to embrace your natural inclinations, to set personal boundaries with unwavering clarity and conviction, and to diligently pursue only those deeper connections that genuinely nourish your soul and intellectual sphere. It actively empowers you to serve as a obligation working for those who genuinely seek to connect with such individuals. A significant and fundamental shift in perspective is unequivocally required. Instead of demanding constant social availability or predictable emotional responses, try instead to offer the generous space and the profound intellectual and emotional depth that they genuinely value. Recognize their moments of quietude and introspection, but as vital periods of intense internal activity, deep processing, and essential psychological understanding that their detachment is a function rather than a dysfunction aspect of their very being first step, but a colossal leap towards building sturdy bridges of genuine understanding, profound empathy, and mutual respect. It is a powerful act that replaces knee-jerk judgment with compassionate insight and transforms frustrating misunderstanding into profound appreciation. You've journeyed through the intricate landscape of the intelligent mind, understood the profound nature of their detachment, and perhaps even recognized a part of yourself or someone close to you within these insights. This isn't just theory. It's a profound lens through which to view human connection, purpose, and self-discovery. If this deep dive has resonated with your soul, if it has illuminated new pathways of understanding, or if it simply made you feel seen in a world that often struggles to comprehend the nuances of intellect and introspection, then you are a fellow architect of depth. We invite you to join our growing community. By subscribing to this channel, you're not just clicking a button, you're stepping into a space where profound ideas are celebrated, complex truths are explored, and authentic self-discovery is the ultimate pursuit. This mission, to unravel the intricate mysteries of the human psyche and share wisdom that genuinely transforms lives, is fueled by your engagement. So, if you're ready to continue building your inner sanctuary and fostering connections that truly nourish your spirit, hit that subscribe button now. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future explorations. We learn most powerfully through shared experience. If this video helped you understand your own need for solitude, or perhaps shed light on a friend, family member, or colleague who embodies this unique psychological architecture, like that brilliant computer architect who thrives in deep focus, or the insightful philosopher who finds clarity in quiet reflection, we would be honored. To hear your story, in the comments below. Share how this video resonated with you. What was your biggest takeaway? Did it help you understand a specific relationship in a new light? Tell us your unique journey, what you've learned about your own need for space, or how you've found your sanctuary. Your insights and experiences enrich this community and inspire countless others. We're here to listen, to learn, and to grow together. Thank you for being a part of this quest for deeper understanding.